here are some questions that I had in my greatest intention of going through when I was absent this afternoon. It deals with, I want to say how the body deals with fats in our body because, remember, our plasma membrane is composed of fats because it's called a lipid bilayer. So we will be discussing these questions upon my return. So you may have to hit pause, but what it does say is, what early nutrient is or slash was not available for us as early humans? Then the next one down says, what is the building blocks for fats? Okay. Then the third one, which hormone is associated with fat storage? And then the final question talks about, okay, where's the best or most beneficial place for us to store fat? Okay, so again, maybe at this point you want to hit pause so you have the opportunity to go through and write those questions down. Okay, so some other things to know. I would say some big ticket items would be, per se, for instance, yes, that's right. What are the building blocks for components like proteins? What makes proteins? Of course, that's amino acids. What makes up fats? Well, lipids make up fats. What makes up carbohydrates? Okay, that's sugars make up carbohydrates. And then what makes up nucleic acids? That's nucleotides. So again, fats are the building blocks for lipids. Amino acids are the building blocks for proteins. Sugars are the building blocks for carbohydrates. And then again, nucleic acids, or excuse me, nucleotides are the building blocks for nucleic acids. Okay, so then also on the paper that you had turned in yesterday, on the majority of you, had dealt with, okay, what are the four movements of materials across the cell membrane, okay, and what is the difference between them? Well, you have, again, simple diffusion, which would move materials like sugars, or excuse me, not sugars, blood gases, or just gases in general, oxygen and carbon dioxide. That is a little different than facilitated diffusion because that is something that requires a gated channel to move through, and examples of those movements would be sugars, carbohydrates, maybe different types of proteins would be needed to move that across the cell membrane. A third type was osmosis, which is the movement of water across that cellular membrane. And then the fourth type that we talked about that's separate from the other three is called the sodium-potassium pump, which is active transport. So how is that last one different from the other three? Well, active transport requires energy, okay? And what we mean by that is as follows. I don't know, I'm gonna try to get this working between now and class time, because that's what I had in mind showing, and that was as follows. Oops, wrong document. We got, let's see here we go. It's called The Truth About Fat, and again, it's from per se South Dakota Public Broadcasting. This I'm logged into it. I don't know. I would like for this to play. This is where those questions were coming from. Where we store fat, where we would possibly be able to, what hormone we're referring to. Now, we can watch the preview, but I don't know why we can't watch the full episode. Okay. So that's not working. Well, shoot, it aired at that time. I don't see why that would play. But we'll try to get that going perhaps tomorrow. But do write those questions down. And then also, we want you to be aware of what the cell theory is, okay? That means that all living things are composed of cells. Cells are the basic unit of structure and function, was the second portion to that. And I want you to think about what the third portion is. Well, what's the basic building block? Of course, that's the cell. Basic unit of structure and or function, okay? And then, what do all cells have in common? Well, majority of them have a nucleus, okay? A cytoplasm, and a cell membrane. So I'll have the vocabulary evaluations to hand back to you. You will also have the questions that we just had you write down that we'll go over, and look over your lecture materials and your vocabulary papers that will be handed back. And then your exam again is on Tuesday. Okay, we talked about that before school today. It was scheduled for tomorrow, but we're going to move it back to next week. But Monday doesn't work because of homecoming activities. So your exam then will be on Tuesday. Okay, so just some things to hopefully point us into the right direction so that you can go ahead and start the year off with a adequate grade for this class. Again, we'll go further into depth with this tomorrow upon our return from cross country. Okay, we'll give you your extra questions at that time, and then again try to point you into the right direction. Hopefully, I can get that player working. It says it's no longer available, but I find that hard to believe. Okay, so. And the rest of the time, I would presume, is yours. And of course, we just ask, just please cooperate, because we'll be down in Mr. Deitch's room. All right, we'll catch up to you next time.